This particular story begins in my senior one. I had just joined school and there was one particular thing that caught my attention. There happened to be a leavers party, senior 4 leavers party that same year. And during that party, I got an opportunity to go in and find out what people were really doing. Dancing. I saw people dancing and I just fell in love with it. I wished I could do it. I wish I could do it exactly like those other people were doing it. It was hard. I couldn't put myself on the dance floor because I was so new in the school and I had some measurable low self-esteem. So it was very much challenging. So fast forward to senior 4. In that particular school, senior 4s are like very much unruly. There is really nothing that stops them from doing whatever they want to do. So I got my first opportunity to explore what other people had been telling me, going to clubs, to be specific, nightclubs. A number of my friends would tell me stories of how they go to club and they dance and they have a nice time. But of course I couldn't do it at the time when I hadn't yet reached senior 4. So when time came, when I got to senior 4, I had my first experience. So there was this one night when I went to a nightclub with some friends of mine. I was very specific. I wanted to learn how to dance. That was just it. So I spent that night looking at whoever is dancing and picking a dance move and just learning it. I was focused on learning the dance moves. So that night got done and we went back to school. So that was the beginning. Now, a few weeks after that, I went again and again. And to make it more interesting, during the final papers, but after the first 2 weeks, I had finished most of my papers and just waiting for technical drawing. So I had 2 weeks of doing nothing. That was an opportunity. I think I remember going like 2 times a week for all of those weeks up until the end. And that marked the ignition of the desire that was built up inside. I really learned how to dance and I learned good moves, which paid off during a leavers party. And people were wondering like, what exactly had been happening. Because in school, I was a very quiet person, so you wouldn't really know what's going on. So during the leavers party, people were asking, you guy, how is it that you're pulling all these dance moves? It really paid off. I was on the dance floor and I liked it, and so many people were actually appreciating the dance moves that I was doing. But that's not the whole story. So along the way, I picked up other things that were different from what I had really gone for. I had gone to learn how to dance, but with it, I started drinking, and that marked the beginning of this interesting story that I'm going to share with you. This is a story of a person who is very passionate about the performing arts, to be specific, dancing. So after senior 4, similar things really happened. Even from home, when I was at home, I would escape from home to go to the nightclubs. So senior 5 came, I was admitted to Chambugu College in Kampala. It was my first time in Kampala, actually. So I wanted to get opportunities to go out and still dance, but most of my friends were not around at that time, so it was a little bit hard, so I couldn't really go out by myself. But something interesting happened. I met a couple of guys who were dancers. They were in a dance group. And they danced in church. That was so new to me. I never thought there was such a thing, that people dance in churches. Their dance moves were way better than my dance moves, or the dance moves that we used to do in the nightclubs. I was like, if I can do this in the light and I don't have to mix up with everything else that comes with going into a club, why don't I do this? This is like the golden opportunity. I picked it up. I joined the dance group and we started dancing in church. Trust me, that was like one of the best moments of my life. I was doing what I love and I was doing it in the light. No need to hide from anyone. It was just joyful. So senior six back, when I returned home, I didn't have very much to do. I didn't have like a side job that I would do like most people do. So I decided, what if I just form a dance crew here to keep me busy so that I don't get sidelined into other places that I don't really need to go and mix up my life. Because at that time I had gotten saved and I knew that I didn't have to return to like my old ways. So when I started that dance crew, a couple of my friends joined me and we actually started dancing. We danced in a church, and shortly after that we formed a community-based organization. So that really kept me afloat and not to frequent the nightclubs. But even that did not stop what I had already rubbed on from before. So I would still sneak and go to the nightclubs even during that time. So the time I was admitted to university, I had schoolwork. At that time I remember having schoolwork. Like I go to class, do work in class. If you don't find me in class, then I'm with this dance group, or we have gone to dance in a particular place. If you don't find me there, then I'm at church, Watoto Church at that time. I had even picked up some volunteering work serving at church. Shortly after that, they were selecting people to dance for Fun Fest. So I was picked. This experience was very monumental. It lifted my spirits, it lifted my esteem very, very much. And even my performance at campus was very good because of that. So in third year, another very significant thing happened. I had joined a particular fellowship. There were some people who used to play guitar during that fellowship, but when we finished third year, they were in their final year, so they left campus. Now after that, there was no one. And it so happened that I had a guitar at home. An uncle of mine had left a guitar at home. So I picked up that guitar and I made it a point, a goal to learn that guitar. By 2014, I was able to do a bit of performance, and that's when I met other like-minded people. So we did a couple of performances, and that began my experience with musical instruments. So I had moved over from dance to musical instruments. It became a real passion. I just noticed that I could do almost anything that I put my mind on. 2015, I got done with campus. Between 2016 and 2018, I was just trying to focus on growing and learning and becoming much better. So I would do work, but the rest of the time away from work is just learning musical instruments, either in church or trying to teach other people. And after that, in 2018, I was like, what if we form a live band? We play during events, we make some money out of it, we grow ourselves, and hopefully we can have a better capacity to teach other people to learn the same skills. And that just marked the beginning of what we now call chunks of music. So we formed a team that would help others achieve their goals, achieve their passion. Ideally, we created a place where someone who is passionate about the performing arts, and at the time was basically musical instruments and singing. So you would come and be happy with the rest of us. You learn, you grow your talent, and you can make some little money out of it. So this story I'm trying to share with you, it's a story of a life that has been changed for better using very unconventional ways. Usually, you would be expected to go to school, learn a particular skill, get a job, and start working. But this is a story of passion. So I wondered, what if we could make a living out of this, something that we really love to do and we can do it very well. It can be very productive, it's entertaining, and with the insurgence of mental illness, this is the perfect opportunity for anyone out there. Because when you learn an instrument, when you learn to dance, you can easily connect with other people out there. You can easily blow off steam in a very, very good way. And it's beneficial to you as a person, be it being educated, be it becoming much more creative. So that is the basic story of passion and desire at a very tender age that has grown and become something that I'm excited about, that we are excited about, and I'm hoping that it would inspire some other people out there.